A while ago, I asked you, what sword did the giant forge you? Here's your best answers. A giant forged me a sword of apathy. Not that it matters. A giant forged me a sword of rhetorical questions. Can you guess what it does? A giant forged me a sword made of words. It doesn't look like it hurts, but it leaves an impact to those who let it. Next we have a pretty good list of the 7 deadly sins as swords. Not the anime, the actual sins. A giant forged me a sword of lust. The big booty dark elves love it. A giant forged me a sword of gluttony. It will not be enough. A giant forged me a sword of greed. But I wanted 2. A giant forged me a sword of sloth. But it's too heavy to carry. A giant forged me a sword of wrath. It never seems to stop. A giant forged me a sword of envy. The one he gave my friend looks better. A giant forged me a sword of pride. It's the world's greatest sword. A giant once forged me a sword made of memes. There are many like it, but this one is mine. A giant forged me a sword of amnesia. At least, I think it was a giant. A giant once forged me a sword of sky. I will die with its ray in hand. Of course there had to be a joke with my name. A giant forged me a sword of awkward silence. A giant once forged me a sword of hindsight. I should have gotten one years ago. A giant forged me a sword of Karen. I was unhappy with my purchase and asked to have it comped. A giant forged me a sword of deja vu. It seems oddly familiar. A giant forged me a sword of epiphany. My father didn't leave to buy cigarettes. I was just a disappointment and my mom Are you okay there, buddy? I really hope you're doing well. A giant forged me a sword of surprise. My enemies never see it coming. A giant forged me a sword of recursion. He decided to make it again. A giant forged me a sword of recursion. He decided to make it again. A giant forged me a sword of treason. He never forged again. A giant forged me a sword of fire. Now I have 3rd-degree burns. A giant forged me a sword of loss. Now I can't find it. A giant forged me a sword of frostbite. Now I can't feel my toes. A giant forged me a sword of life. It doesn't kill a thing. A giant forged me a sword of love. We are now happily married with 3 daggers. A giant once forged me a sword of SkyDieRay. Now I can never get its name right. A giant forged me a sword of lightning. It's rather shocking. A giant forged me a sword of barbarians. It's not as dull as you think. A giant forged me a sword of impatience. It's been 3 days. My shield should be done already. A giant forged me a sword of deja vu. I've just been to this place before. Oh wait, it's a song. Okay. I can't believe I didn't see it coming. A giant forged me a sword of SkyDieRay. I'm bad at saying its name. Okay guys, I get it. We can move on from this joke, from this sword. A giant forged me a sword of repetition. Looks a lot like the sword of deja vu. A giant made me a sword of deja vu. It seems oddly familiar. A giant forged me a sword of wasted potential. It could be better. A giant once forged me a sword of nostalgia. It used to be better. A giant forged me a sword of big booty dark elves. It is of superior taste. A giant forged me a sword of bread. I am the breadbarian. The real breadbarian. A giant forged me a sword of alignment. It's good. Alright, the question for the next video is, what's your personal Matt Mercer effect and how does it work? Leave your answers in the comments below and I'll pick my favorites for the next episode of AWAIAY. Alright, that was it for this video. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it. I have no idea if you're actually gonna enjoy this format or not. So if you do, please leave a like on the video to just let me know, or if you wanna leave a comment telling me that. And yeah, please leave your best answers for the question and maybe we'll make this into a series. And yeah, with that being said, I can only hope that you enjoyed this video. Alright, thanks again for watching. Also, thank you to everyone supporting the channel on Patreon. Really appreciate it. Links below if you want to check out the Patreon, the subreddit, the Discord server, or anything else. And yeah, that's it. Thanks again for watching and I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.